Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Andrea and I film videos all about my favorite cruelty-free beauty products. I've been getting a bunch of requests to film a video on my favorite affordable makeup brushes. So I decided to go through my collection and choose my favorite brush brands and my favorite brush lines. And then within those lines, I'll kind of chat about the products that I really think you should add to your collection if you're looking for some new makeup brushes. All of these brands are cruelty-free and all of the brushes are synthetic and vegan, so I hope that I can kind of help you make your choice. But if you have any recommendations that you think would be great options, please let us know in the comments below, because I'm always open to hearing about more brush brands that are affordable. So let's jump into it and I'll start chatting about the brushes. So the first brushes that I want to talk about are the Wet n Wild Pro brushes. These are available on Wet n Wild's website, and I think they might be available in some drugstores, but they range in price from $5.99 to $7.99. So the eye brushes are a little bit more affordable. The face brushes are a little bit more expensive. You can buy the entire set online for $69.70, but you don't save any money if you buy the entire set. So unless you are in need of a complete set, I would recommend just buying the ones that you need, because there are some that are better than others in my opinion. So I actually bought the entire set over the holidays because they did have a holiday kit available at Walgreens for $30, which was crazy because it was such a good deal. They are the exact same brushes, but the permanent brushes look a little bit different. The handles are two different colors and the bristles are colored differently. The permanent line is actually a little bit better because the bristles are gray and white, so they don't stain as easily as the pure white bristles that were available as the holiday set, but they're exactly the same. I did buy some of the permanent brushes just to kind of compare them next to the holiday set to make sure they were the same. So these are probably the highest quality brushes out of all of the ones that I'm going to mention. They are a little bit more on the expensive side when you buy them as a complete bundle, but honestly, if you were to buy any of the brushes as a complete bundle, they're going to be somewhat similar in price. I just feel like they feel really nice in your hand. The actual bristles are so soft. They're some of the softest brushes that I own, so they're not scratchy, they don't hurt your eyes or your skin when you're applying the product, and they blend the product onto your skin so beautifully, whether you're using the eye brushes or the face brushes. They do stain a little bit, but not quite as bad as these. So I haven't experienced any shedding, any, crazy bristles. Like sometimes when you wash a brush, the bristles are everywhere. These hold their shape nicely. They wash really nicely. There are three that I really love and a couple, actually just one that I would recommend skipping over. So the three that I love, the first one is the large powder brush. I love this one for applying bronzer, blush, and powders. So it does have a lot of uses. I did purchase the second one because I use it so often. I use it for my bronzer every single day. It's just very fluffy, it's shaped perfectly, and it just diffuses the product so nicely. I would also recommend the tapered highlighting brush. I love this for applying highlight on the cheeks because it gives you a very precise application and it blends the product really nicely. And then I would also recommend the fluffy blending brush. I love using this to blend my crease color, to apply a transition shade. It's very soft and comfortable on the eyes, and it just applies the color really, really nicely. So these three are definitely recommendations that I think you would love. Now, one that I would recommend skipping is the foundation brush. I just feel like the shape is a little bit strange and it's not my personal favorite. It does have a dip in the middle, and I noticed that some foundation brushes do have dips in the middle, but for me personally, I just feel like my foundation doesn't go on as nicely with this brush as it does some other foundation brushes. So I do have a couple of different e.l.f. Cosmetics brushes to talk about, but I will start with the Beautifully Precise line. So I do have an entire review on this line, which I'll link in the description box below if you guys want to check it out, because they have been around for a little while at this point, but you can buy these separately they range in price from $5 to $12. You can't buy these as a complete set on e.l.f.'s website right now. It looks like they do have a couple of smaller bundles where you can get 3 brushes for a set, but you can purchase them all separately. So these are definitely more expensive than the other e.l.f. brushes on the website with the black handles and the white handles, but I'll touch on those in a second. These are very beautifully made, and they're definitely a few steps up from the other brushes that they have on their website. The actual brushes are designed beautifully. They have this clear handle, this silver ferrule, and then the actual bristles are white and very soft and very comfortable on the skin. Again, because they are pure white, they stain so easily. It is so hard to get these clean. I have to go over the products over and over to get them clean. The AIRBRUSH Stipple is what I use to contour. It is the perfect contour brush because it blends the product perfectly onto your cheeks. I think you could use this for other uses, but that's what I personally use it for, and I love it. You could use it for powder or cream products. The powder brush is probably one of the biggest, fluffiest powder brushes that I own. I like this product for applying bronzer if I don't want a super precise precise look and I prefer more of like a diffused look. I also love using it for powder, but in general, I like taking this brush when I'm done with my makeup and just blending everything so it looks really seamless and even. I think it's so super fluffy. It's definitely one of the best powder brushes that I own. And then the blending eye brush blends out eyeshadow so beautifully. I love using this in the crease, the outer corner, just for more of like a defined look, but also a little bit blended. I think it works perfectly. It feels like a cheap brush. Like this one doesn't necessarily feel like a luxurious high quality brush, but it works extremely well and it blends out your shadow so effortlessly. So these are three that I would recommend picking up from the line. Now the SWIRL foundation brush just is not my personal favorite. They recommend actually applying your foundation directly into the center of the brush and then buffing it onto your skin. The brush literally soaks up all of the products, so I feel like you're wasting your foundation when you do that. And then it doesn't give you a really easy or really even foundation application because it's designed a little bit weird. Like it has these swirls in it, so I feel like your foundation looks streaky. It doesn't look full coverage. It just does not look very good on the skin. The other one that I would recommend skipping is the multi-blender massager brush. I know that some people enjoy this brush, but I just don't get it. I can't figure out how to use this. I feel like when I was reading the description online when it first came out, they were actually recommending to use it with your foundation. And again, it will just soak up all of the product. I feel like it's a little bit too big to use to contour. It doesn't make sense for foundation. I just think it's a little bit of a gimmicky brush and it's $12. So I feel like for $12, like save the money and buy something else. It's just not worth the $12 in my opinion. So I have a bunch of the e.l.f. brushes with the black handles. I think these were originally called like their studio line, but they kind of switched things up on their website. So now they just have all of their brushes available on the website and they don't really separate them by lines. You can get these individually, but you can also get them in a couple of different sets. They have an 11-piece set for $30 and then a 19-piece set for $50. So I feel like both of those are pretty good prices because I do enjoy these brushes from e.l.f. So I would say that I personally reach for the face brushes in this line over the eye brushes. The eye brushes aren't my personal favorite. I think they do get the job done and they're like $3. These range in price from like $3 to $6. So for $3, if you're just looking for some affordable brushes, they are nice quality and they will do the job. They're not really going to work any magic though or blend your eyeshadow exceptionally well, but they will get the job done for you. But the face brushes, I think, are very, very high quality. I've actually repurchased the Ultimate Blending Brush like 3 or 4 times because it is my go-to foundation brush. So these brushes definitely do shed a little bit, so keep that in mind. And sometimes when you wash them or, you know, they're a little bit older, the actual like brush will break. So the wooden handle will come right off. That just happened to me the other night when I was washing them, just because like this one's loose. Like if I just wiggle it a little bit, like the handle pops right off. So this one was just kind of loose. And again, like I wouldn't recommend doing that to your brushes, but I do have a couple of these and I just wanted to kind of show you guys the handles don't break off that easily. Like I've had these brushes for years and years and after washing them multiple times, the handles can get a little bit loose. You can glue them right back on. Like this one's not even loose at all. So it just kind of depends, you know, it's like wear and tear. And these brushes, you know, they don't hold up as well as some of the other brushes, but again, for the price, I totally think they're worth checking out, especially the face brushes. So I have 3 that I really recommend. The first one is the Ultimate Blending Brush. Like I said, this has been my go-to foundation brush for a couple of years at this point. I just feel like it blends your foundation so beautifully. So whether you are a buffer or a stippler, this brush is going to work extremely well for you. It's not streaky. I also recommend the contouring brush if you are looking for more of like a flat contouring brush. This one's going to be a great option for you. The third one is the Selfie Ready foundation brush, and they also have like a Selfie Ready powder brush. They have a couple of different options, but if you want a little bit of a smaller brush, this one is great for applying either concealer or foundation if you want something a little bit smaller than the Ultimate Blending Brush. Okay, let me talk about the ColourPop brushes. So these are only sold online at ColourPop's website. They retail for $5 all the way up through $11, and they actually just added to the line a bunch of different brushes. I do have them. I haven't tried them out yet, so I will film a video on them letting you guys know how they are. But for now, I just have like the original line of brushes that they released. Now these are sold individually. They do have a couple of different bundles on the website, so you can get a couple of brushes for a discounted price, but ColourPop does discount them pretty significantly if you purchase the whole set for $50. So in my opinion, if you're looking for a complete set, I think that the ColourPop set is the best value. I think the ColourPop brushes are nice quality. They're probably not like the highest quality brushes that I've tried. They kind of fall in the middle for me. I think I prefer Wet n Wild and the e.l.f. Beautifully Precise brushes over these, but I do like these better than Real Techniques or like the e.l.f. Studio line. I think they're great in between brushes. So I actually prefer the ColourPop eye brushes over the ColourPop face brushes. I feel like the eye brushes work really well with cream or powder products, and the face brushes work well, but I feel like they're kind of like weird sizes for me. Like the powder brush is a little bit small, and the stippling brush again is really small. I love it. I use it for concealer, but originally like I was hoping it would be a little bit bigger for foundation. These brushes are really lightweight, very easy to clean. I think they don't stain really badly at all, but I will say that the bristles get a little bit crazy after cleaning them. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell. Let me do an up close shot for you. There's just kind of bristles coming out everywhere on this brush because I just washed it the other day, and they are kind of shedding like crazy. Like, I've washed them a few times, but every time I wash the face brushes, this kind of happens. But it's weird because I don't really have the same experience with the eye brushes. I just feel like it's the face brushes. So again, I personally would recommend the eye brushes over the face brushes with this line. So let me share my favorites with you guys. The first one is the stippling brush. This one is going to be amazing for blending out your concealer. It is my go-to brush for concealer. I also feel like it would be great for cream contour, cream bronzer, but I love it for concealer application. I also like the small fluff brush. I think that this one is great for highlighter application. Again, I'm not big into fan brushes. If you like fan brushes, they do have one available in the brush set, but I love this one for highlighter application because you get more of a precise application. So I have the small shader brush and the medium shader brush. I love these so much because they work extremely well with powder products, but also cream products. So they're good multitasking products. And if you are a fan of ColourPop, these work really well with their shadows. The only brush that I would recommend skipping is the large powder brush. I just feel like it's a little bit stiff for a large powder brush, unless that's what you're specifically looking for. It's just a little bit too dense. So I feel like when it comes to powders, I want something a little bit more fluffy to diffuse the product, whereas this one just gives me kind of a little bit more of a harsh look. So this one's not my favorite. Okay, let me finish up with the Real Techniques brushes. I did not realize that I had so many of these in my collection, but I went through a phase where I was really into these brushes. So if you purchase them separately, they retail for $5.99 all the way up through $10.99. But Real Techniques does have a bunch of different sets available on their website and like Ulta's website or at the drugstore. They're color coordinated, so the purple ones are the eye brushes, the orange ones are like the base or complexion brushes, and then the pink ones are good for like blush, bronzer, highlight, and those types of things. I would recommend checking out Ulta's website for Real Techniques brushes because they do go on sale pretty often, and I find Real Techniques brushes to be very high quality, especially the face brushes. My favorites are the Expert Face Brush and the Stippling Brush. I've had these in my collection for years at this point, and they're still amazing brushes. I love the Expert Face Brush for applying foundation, either buffing it in or stippling it in, but more so buffing it in, and the Stippling Brush is of course great for stippling on your foundation or your cream cheek products like blush and bronzer. Both of these are really nice brushes. I've washed them a million times and they've held up really well. I do experience a little bit of shedding with these brushes, but not anything crazy. They're not quite as bad as like the ColourPop brushes or like the other e.l.f. brushes that I was talking about. So I do think they're really great. A ton of you guys told me that you love their blush brush, and I just found it in my collection and I'm really excited to try it out because I don't know if I've ever actually used it for an extended period of time, maybe like once or twice, but so many of you guys said this is a good brush, so this might be one worth checking out as well. If you guys try any of these brushes, please let me know in the comments below, and if you have any recommendations of brushes that I did not recommend, please let us know so we can check them out as well. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!